Why Greece is not a united state. Over 2,500 years ago, in the land nestled between the blue Mediterranean Sea, humans built philosophy, democracy, art, the Olympic Games. But there's something very strange. Greece, the cradle of Western civilization, was never a unified nation. There was no single king, no single capital, and no central government controlling the entire territory. Instead, Greece exists as a broken picture, composed of hundreds of small pieces. Why is that? The answer lies not in a single cause, but in a combination of geography, people, culture, and political thinking. A land that does not give birth to unity. Imagine yourself standing high above ancient Greece. You wouldn't see vast plains like those in Egypt or Mesopotamia. What you see is mountains crisscrossing everywhere, a winding coastline, hundreds of islands of all sizes. This very topography makes land travel extremely difficult. Each valley, each coastal region is naturally isolated, forcing the people there to self-govern, self-defend, and self-survive. From this, independent communities were formed, called polis, each polis being like a miniature nation. There are laws, armies, guardian spirits, and national pride, and when you've lived independently for hundreds of years, no one wants to be ruled by someone else. Polis, the heart of the Greek people. The Greeks did not consider themselves Greek citizens. They said, "I am an Athenian. I am a Spartan. I am from Corinth, Thebes, Argos." Their highest loyalty was to the polis, not Greece. Each Greek polis was more than just a city. It was a personality, a way of life, a way of seeing the world. Athens believed that humans were born to think and debate. Their power lay not in swords and spears, but in the public square, where words, reason, and thought determined destiny. Athens celebrated democracy, philosophy, and art, a place where people dared to question themselves and the universe. Sparta was completely different. They believed that freedom could only exist with absolute discipline. A Spartan citizen was raised as a warrior from birth, living for the collective, fighting without fear of death, and valuing honor on the battlefield above life itself. The Corinths did not seek glory in philosophy or war. They looked out to sea and saw opportunity. The Corinths lived by trade, by ships sailing the waves, by wealth, riches, and the soft power of money. Thebes, on the other hand, less dreamy, less ostentatious, embodied practical strength. They organized their army tightly, fought battles strategically, and proved that military intelligence could also change the course of Greek history. This difference is not a fault. It is precisely what makes Greek so brilliant. But it is also the biggest obstacle to unification. Freedom is more important than unity. The Greeks greatly feared centralized power. In their collective memory, a ruler who is too powerful is a tyrant, a state that is too large is a state that lacks freedom. Therefore, they preferred to live in a small city-state, determine their own destiny, debate in the town square, and take up arms to defend their homeland. Political freedom is more important than collective security. When faced with a common enemy like Persia, the polis might temporarily form an alliance. But when the threat passed, they would turn against each other again. War between the Greeks and themselves. The Peloponnesian War between Athens and Sparta lasted nearly 30 years. It wasn't a war for survival, but a war over who deserved to lead Greece. Consequences: Athens declined, Sparta was exhausted, and the whole of Greece weakened. Unable to achieve unity through agreement, Greece self-destructed. The only person who united Greece was not a Greek. Ultimately, the unifier of Greece did not come from Athens or Sparta. And it comes from Macedonia. And that person was Alexander the Great. But remember, he united Greece by force, not by consensus, and that unity was not lasting. Immediately after his death, the empire disintegrated. Greece is not united, but immortal. Ancient Greece failed to create a unified nation. But they succeeded at something greater. The birth of democracy, the laying of philosophical foundations, and the shaping of Western thought. Perhaps it is precisely because of this lack of unity that each polis had the freedom to create, debate, and evolve. Greece was not a nation. But they became an immortal civilization.